Hello, my name is Glen Greenawalt, and I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer of LGC Associates. I feel blessed to be a part of this community and also to have a venue where I can serve you. In my last video titled Volatility Ahead, I spoke of all the macro forces that are upon us, forces that are seemingly coming to a head all at the same time. And that video is still very relevant, and this one is going to build on that one. I suspect that the next many years will be marked by volatility, and that is great to know, but what can we as business leaders do about it? As always, my goal is not to make predictions, but to point out the probabilities and to get you thinking ahead, to ask better questions now, so that as things unfold, you'll be in a better position to thrive. There's a saying that generals are always prepared to fight the last war. And what does that mean? It means that they're preparing for the future by looking back to the recent past. This is not necessarily wrong, especially if the environment's been stable, but during times of rapidly shifting financial, economic, and political conditions, preparing to fight the last war can be a fatal blunder. So we have financial, economic, and political issues. Changing in one of those three things can alter the game. Changing all three at once can change the game entirely. On top of all this, we have the technology, which serves as an accelerator to the rate of the change. What will happen if there's a new game being played and you're still trying to play the old game? Are you waiting for things to go back to how they were so that you can fight the last war? A couple of things to watch out for here, and both are related to psychology. The first is recency bias. Recency bias is a distortion of memory where you place more weight on the things that have happened recently and discount the things that have happened in the past. An example would be to assume that since the last 40 years have been deflationary, that it'll always be like this. In this example, we forget that interest rates peaked at almost 20% in the 1970s, and the bias leads us to the conclusion that this can never happen again. We don't believe we'd ever have to operate in these conditions, so we don't ponder what these conditions would do to our businesses. We ignore the possibility altogether. The second thing to watch out for would be the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn reaction. Will I accept the changing tide and fight, or will I choose to flight, freeze, or fawn? Most of us tend to spend our time on the things that we're already good at and understand. When an inflection point like COVID occurs, we want to go back to those things, but what if they no longer work? What if we don't recognize the shift, and what will that cost us? My guess is that when we hear words like inflationary, economic, monetary, and political forces are changing the game, we want to look away because we don't understand them and or we think we can't do anything about them, meaning we choose not to fight. Ignoring the changing landscape won't prevent it from happening, but it will decrease your odds of not surviving. So what can you do? You can start to take a more active role in managing the different parts of your business that a passive approach has worked on in the past that have now become much more dynamic. My second video is titled Capacity Audit, and although I'm not suggesting a capacity audit here, I am suggesting a similar audit of these different pieces of your business to examine which areas will require a more active management style in the future. Two issues that come to mind as examples would be inventory and personnel. The CEO of Caribou Coffee recently went on record saying that they are building large inventories of cups, lids, chocolate, and coffee. He sees that using a just-in-time inventory model may not work in this environment. And keep in mind that just-in-time inventory models have been the norm for decades, and that holding large inventories was a thing of the past. Doesn't it make sense during an inflationary environment that also has supply chain issues to hold inventory? It absolutely does, but many still don't see it, and that particular CEO sees the shift and he's getting ahead of it, while others continue to play the old game. Another business area that has, for many companies, been passively managed has been the human resources area. It's been a relatively stable area for decades, and now it's not. It's changing. Wages are all over the place. They're trending up. The Great Resignation is a real thing. And at the same time, employers may be apprehensive to raise wages into a slowing economy. They're still using the rules from the old game when it comes to hiring. They're still fighting the last war, and they're frustrated because they don't understand why it's not even working. The way to win starts with understanding that the game has changed and knowing that you must change in order to win it. What is this new game and how do I need to change to win it? The first thing is, don't assume the future will be like the past. Assume the future will be very different from the past so that you must take some action. Take responsibility and actively manage yourself and your business for the next 6 months to 2 years, and you'll be ahead. This isn't a doom and gloom prophecy. It's just a chance to recognize that we're at an inflection point, a fork in the road where you must make a choice. And not making a choice here automatically puts you on the road to business decline. Immerse yourself in the new game and start figuring it out now. If you do, you'll be way ahead of the herd. If you recognize the need to build a more dynamic and resilient staffing model for your business, one that'll be able to easily shift with the changing landscape, I'd like to offer LGC's help in the development of your new and winning strategy. We have a wealth of knowledge related to what's working and what's not, and it's all based on best practices that some of our most successful clients are already utilizing. LGC has 37 offices nationwide, and our internal staff of nearly 200 employees is in tune with the challenges that exist for our clients. We offer temp to hire, permanent placement, subscription services, and market research packages for our clients. Our managers will take the time to understand the needs and really help you develop the right plan for you and your business. We love the opportunity to navigate through these changing times with you and really be a partner that adds value. At LGC, we encourage everyone to lead themselves first so that they're prepared to lead others when the time comes. If you would like an opportunity to partner with a leading organization, please reach out to me directly or to any one of our 37 local branches. Thank you for being a partner and a part of what we do at LGC. God bless.